What's up, everyone? Since we did not film too much when we got into Atlanta, just kind of want to briefly discuss how everything went. We got into Atlanta around 2 or 2:30, maybe 3, I don't know. Wednesday, I think it was.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it had to have been Wednesday because with Pro Spec going on Thursday, they had Pro 1 practice and Pro Spec, and then they had their seating bracket for
Is that Grid Life?
Pro Spec.
Oh, Pro Spec.
That night. Coming from the airport, we went straight to this barbecue joint. Super good. We were gonna go to the Awful House, but barbecue sounded better, so we went to this barbecue joint. Super good food. And randomly had some sinks.
That's when you know.
Sinks to wash
that's
your
when you
hands.
know it's elite barbecue. Is the fact they had bathroom sinks in the eating area. Like that is elite.
and you could tell where the place was because there was like tons of smoke coming out.
Exactly.
Right away when we got there on Wednesday, Larry Chen had another Type S event. T-Pain was there revealing one of his RTR Mustangs. They had some RWBs out there. Ken was out there with Toyota, showcasing all the Team Toyota GR cars. Turk was out there, Osbo was out there. I think they had a prototype GR Corolla that they had at Long Beach, yellow GR that they had out there.
Yeah.
And then on to Thursday practice. Immediately went straight into practice, didn't touch the car. Everything was working pretty good.
As Jeff was saying too, we didn't do a lot of like filming and talking. Like I kind of kept filming more of like the cinematic style throughout the whole thing. So this vlog in general is going to be a little different than most. So definitely let us know, give us feedback. But I think for being said, you'll see how we break it up in this. And for now, just enjoy the cinematic we got put together from practice.
We had 2 practice sessions on Thursday, and then they went into seating bracket for Pro Spec. If you watched our video from Long Beach, you saw that our intercooler split on the weld. We was also noticing that we had pretty significant intake air temps, so we wanted to take the opportunity to go ahead and just change the intercooler since we're already going to have to at least do a repair. The guys over at Gretty, they changed the size of the core from I think 3.5 to 4 3/4, nearly 5-inch intercooler core. Did some extra welding on the inside of the intakes this time to add some strength. They also did some modification to the OEM intake manifold, kind of gutting it out and making it a little bit larger. And then they went ahead and adjusted the tune and found some more power, along with some gains and lower intake air temps. So then Friday morning, we had a free day because we didn't have anything going on for Pro 1. It was all Pro Spec, Grid Life, and we took the opportunity to set up the car. We dropped the gearbox. I inspected the clutch, put the clutch back in because it looked pretty good. from Long Beach when we ended up putting in a new clutch pack. We kind of planned for like rain because like that's what the forecast said. So we had like Thursday, we actually burnt off a couple half burnt tires, just did one lap. And then I think we had another set where we only did a burnout, and that's kind of like what you want to do for prepping for rain weather, because when you have a set of brand new tires, it's really hard to put heat into a tire that's being spun on wet concrete. So what you want to do is, if you know the weather's going to be crappy or could be, you want to at least take a set of tires, do some burnouts, scrub them in, and then you take them off, and then set those aside and use them for the wet weather, because you're basically not going to wear those tires the whole event. So if it's raining the whole time, you're going to use those tires for the whole event. So you want to have those set aside. We also disconnected the sway bar and added some more rear grip. Kind of increases the side bite, you know, allowing the rear and the weight to kind of just transfer side to side. And if you're looking to pull out side bite, then you would connect the sway bar to keep the car from like basically jacking the weight left or right. And then Friday we did get our spare engine from OCD Works. I also remember taking a nap, not on purpose, but you know, nothing going on.
How hot it was on Friday. It was hot.
Yeah, Friday was freaking
that's why you
crazy.
took
I think
that.
that's why we all like ended up passing out. We were trying to avoid getting a heat stroke.
Yeah, being stroked by the
Luckily,
heat.
luckily we got a sparkling water sponsor this year, so we had plenty of things to be hydrated. We had like I think we got like 100 and something cases of the chew, so that's cool to have. We were at least prepared enough. We got a bunch of ice that morning, so we had cold drinks all day.
Yeah, woke up out of nowhere, look over, see like Ty and Jeff passed out, and then I got up,
This
and
guy
then
was passed out too.
I was passed out before
Ken
that.
was even
I
passed
said
out
I
at
woke
some
up.
point.
Yeah, I looked up, and you see Ken at the top of the trailer just passed out too. Needless to say, we were all just
But
exhausted.
it was nice to have Friday off, but it kind of a wasteful day when you have pro spec going on, and we're like, we got to get there on Wednesday instead of, you know, being able to get there on Friday afternoon. So we burn an extra day of our own, you know, from being back at home working and our families and this and that.
Now that we just kind of talked about how Friday and practice went and our arrival, I guess now, and if anything, enjoy the visuals for us getting in the top 32.
Change tire, and then Martin will be there too.
Ended up winning the battle with Austin Mata, and then moved on to top 16. We had a pretty significant break in between 32 and 16, so we had plenty of time to go back to the pit, have tires changed, eat some food, take a break, and then it was like torrential downpour. We all ended up rushing over to rays and got ourselves some rain gear because we were not prepared. We all have team like rain jackets, but like none of us had ours, so
No.
we were not that prepared. So we ended up going over to Rays, which is a sponsor of ours. We run the Rays gram lights, so we got these Puma collab parkas, right?
Yeah. I'll send a picture of me wearing one.
Yeah, I didn't wear mine. I got one, but I didn't wear mine. I got this kind of cool camo, like rain jacket, so I was wearing that.
Yeah, the weather, that was a big change.
Like, it kind of like threw like a wrench into the gears, but for everyone. So kind of even the playing field. So whoever was, good at driving in the rain kind of shined there. I feel like everyone's battle probably would have went a little bit differently if it was dry.
Now that you guys know how top 32 went and everything, enjoy the next cinematic for the battle going into top 16. We went ahead and pulled some media from Formula D official and kind of give you guys more of an explanation and better angles to kind of see why we got put into the position we did. But yeah, so if anything, go ahead and enjoy those visuals.
Because we're in the South, baby. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. This is Road Atlanta, and this is round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Thanks for joining us. It's a little wet. It's a little dry. Ever since. First ever round of Formula Drift was here, like I said, in 2004. And one of those drivers at that round, Gushi, there on the right, a young buck back in the day. Now he is eclipsing the 30 years, going on 40, right? Pretty crazy.
And then, a couple years.
Yeah, and then Odi Bakshis, he's been around, not as long, not since day 1, but quite a bit. And he is a gentleman that a lot of eyeballs are on, and poised to be champion, just has not come together just yet. Always a bridesmaid, would love to get married to that championship here in 2025. Here we go, Odi Bakshis initiates. Ken Gushi, early initiation for him in the chase position. Odi Bakshis, the field suspension. You can see the S15, the Sylvia coming up the hill. Now you can slow roll, and Gushi, look at that. That allows him to just drop into formation in that pocket. Odi Bakshis dragging on in. Ken Gushi, just look at him feeding the wheel, watch inside this cockpit. Transitioning out of the keyhole, the horseshoe, and that box there, that is the flow. You can just see how they exit out. Now go, what was the inside clip number 1 is now inside clip number 3. And look at Gushi, even in the wet, you can see him lunging forward to get that proximity and get really close to Odi Bakshis.
A lot of the spotters, looking impressed with that run because, I thought Odi was going off track. Admittedly, I thought that was it. I thought we were going to be fishing him out of the kitty litter, but no. able to get the traction down. If there's anybody who's going to set up a car for the rain, this is it. This is the man. Does a good job. Interesting, I think he grabbed the e-brake. There were sparks that came out, which I don't know if that was out of the exhaust or what was going on, but thought that was kind of strange. And then through the rest of this run, though, I mean, Odie looks amazing, but Ken in the chase doesn't give him an inch. I mean, this tandem would have been incredible in the dry, and it's almost more impressive in the rain because Ken's aggressive. He catches the car, he gets through the zones, and he looks very poised. The amount of confidence you need to have to huck a car like that while it's raining is nuts. So I think Ken Gushi's, I mean, he's
very
making
commendable. Where Gushi's at right now is very intimidating. I want to see it dry out. Ideally, we get some dry conditions here. Don't know if we're going to see him in 16. Ideally, we whittle down to 8, so that way everybody's seen wet, and then we see drier conditions. All right, Ken Gushi now out front, neck ready, Toyota GR86. Look at Odie stuck to him.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, it looked like he just had a magnet next to him. He was absolutely stuck to his door now coming in. And look at Gushi, just put the car exactly where it needs to be, even in the wet conditions. These are slippery. And look at out to the outside zone. Oh, we got tire on tire.
Yeah.
Wow. Does not disrupt the attitude of the vehicles. They continue on pace. Slow it may be, is still, kids, don't try this at home. Ripping around is Ken Gushi in the lead and coming back up the hill. Ken, that was really commendable. Just car placement. If we could speed that up like ×3, it's kind of like speed reading a book. That would have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, if anybody thinks that like rain drifting's not exciting, you didn't see this battle because that was nuts. I mean, Ken's able to get this through the track just as well as Odie did, and it looks awesome. And look at Odie, how stable he is in the chase. He's almost letting Ken make adjustments in front of him, and Odie just stays in the same spot. This part could have got really hairy. That front wheel to front wheel contact is so hard to drive through as the lead driver because you're getting knocked around. The steering wheel can get knocked out of your hand. We've already seen it earlier on today. But both drivers, very commendable at getting through like that. A couple of spots for Ken to be able to clean up. You know, the initiation is so nasty right now. I would have liked to have seen him a little bit further out. Odie did a really good job with proximity. Maybe I would have liked to see him a little better on line, but his angle was matching. So he got proximity and angle well, but the line sacrificed a bit. But man, that was for a rain run. You know what? Even if that was a dry run, that was a sick run.
The placement was good. Like I said, if you could speed it up, that would have been on pace. Like as far as placing the vehicle, 100 points.
Yeah.
Speed, that's the variable we need. So Odie Bakshi's Ken Gushi. Odie Bakshi's gets a 1 vote, gets a 2, and gets 3.
Yeah.
Odie Bakshi's gets the win. Great placement by both the vehicles. Would love to hear from the judges on what really solidified Odie with the win. If we could get Reese throwing that headset there. What really solidified Odie Bakshi's getting the victory there? I thought Gushi had good placement. What was the factor for Odie getting it?
The factor for Odie is he just did a much better lead run. He had one error that I was able to note there. Gushi did have some variances where he did get inside clip. He was too far in inside clip 1 as he was coming through. He didn't get deep into the outer zone 3, and we also missed the touch and go over there. Coming out of the inner clip 2, going into the touch and go, he misses the touch and go. And because of that, we decided to go with Odie Bakshi's.
All right, and it was unanimous. You can see the rain coming down.
The top 16 battle with Odie went really well. Ken did a great job leading and chasing, but he did make a mistake at least on each of his runs. Very minor, but when you're going against someone like Odie that doesn't really make too many mistakes, they're looking for that one mistake to separate, you two from winning the battle or losing the battle. So ended up being Ken this time. He missed a zone on his lead, and I think he missed a zone on his chase, so that kind of solidified Odie winning that battle. Next round is going to be FD Orlando. These 2 rounds are like the closest ones together. There's about a 2-week gap in between the 2, and Ken actually is flying to Japan for the weekend in between for the second round of FD Japan. So he's definitely getting some traveling in. I would have loved to win. I'm sure Justin would have loved to win, and same with Nick. It's just not in the books right now. there's a lot going on in the background between our own stuff and our own work schedule and customers and this and that. So hopefully by like next year, we can start dedicating more time into, you know, if we're gonna be helping Ken again, if he's gonna do FD Japan, maybe we can go to at least some of the rounds, if not all of them. That would be kind of like a goal for me, because I've done, you know, FD USA for 10 plus years now, and I'm like, I'm looking for something new. As much as I like still going to the FD USA rounds, and we'll go ahead and talk, try to do a better job in Orlando, discussing any changes maybe we're going to make to the car before going into Orlando. I did check the weather. It looks like it's going to be scorching hot, like mid 90s. Saturday looks like it's going to be kind of like a little cloud cover, but it's still going to be like low 90s. So I'm not looking forward to it as much as like sound like I'm just complaining. I just don't like that round. I don't like St. Louis. It's scorching hot, very uncomfortable, and not fun to work in. As fun as the round itself could be, it's just the weather just really hates us.
One other thing too we've been working on in the background. Slowly but surely, we're coming up with some merch, got some stickers, little die cuts, you know, nothing crazy, but if anything, this is kind of like an in-person thing only for now.
Yeah.
And maybe the next kind of couple shows, events that are coming up here in Washington. We got Stance Wars coming up, WECFest coming up. So
we won't be at the next DriftCon here at Evergreen because it's the same weekend as FD Orlando. But if you are going to be at FD Orlando, or you're local and you want to come by the shop, go ahead and stop by. We will have these at the shop.
Yeah.
So
we'll get you right. We'll get you right.
if there's any other videos that you maybe want to see us talk about, I don't know, like if there's something you see in the background that we haven't mentioned and you're curious about it, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. Or if you want to get one of these stickers, drop that down in the comments or hit up our Instagram. Justin's always in there answering questions and stuff. So
we'll catch you guys in the next video, and you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe.
tell your friends about these right here.